Welcome back to the Daily Drum on WHUR and Sirius XM, Channel 141. This is the Insight segment. I'm Harold Fisher. Howard University has received an $80 million donation from billionaire philanthropist Mackenzie Scott. It is the latest contribution she has made to several HBCUs across the country. And joining me to talk about this is Howard University President Dr. Wayne Frederick. Dr. Frederick, thank you so much for joining me for this conversation. It's good to see you.
All right, good to be seen. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, thank you. First of all, congratulations to the university for this generous donation. A lot of people are interested in figuring out, how does something like this happen? As I said, Mackenzie Scott has given to several HBCUs. Is this a situation where her people calls Howard University and says, hey, guess what? Did the university call her? How does this come about?
Yeah, well, first, we're very, very grateful. This is the second time that she's donated to Howard, and on both occasions, this came about very unusual. She is not your run-of-the-mill philanthropist. The book on her philanthropy has not been written. She's writing this book, to be quite honest. These are unsolicited gifts. She has people who contact the university, informs you that she wants to make a donation. They tell you how much the donation is, that it's unrestricted. And they then proceed to wire that money to the university. There's no agreement between us and her, no reporting. It's a total disruption of what we have known and understood in philanthropy and higher education. Now, clearly, I'm sure she has a team of people that are probably doing some evaluations on different organizations and looking at what they're doing, how well they do it, the leadership, et cetera, to make those determinations. But the point is, it's a very different process. And it also is a process that, if you think about it, it's very, very liberating as well. As an organization, as ours, trying to fulfill a mission with resources that are being pulled in so many directions, to receive a gift like this that has that kind of freedom attached to it is amazing. 80 to 90% of during a government shutdown. So very unusual and very appreciative as well.
Let me ask you this, Dr. Frederick, because one of the things that I find really fascinating about this is that this is unrestricted. And when we talk about an unrestricted donation to or contribution to the university, what exactly does that mean?
Yeah, that means that I can spend it on anything. I can spend it on absolutely anything. Now, obviously, what we spend it on, we want to be wise, but it means you can spend it on absolutely anything. I don't want to be ridiculous, but if I decided to cut the grass in the yard with that money alone for the rest of the time until the money is spent, I could do that. They are trusting you, and obviously that's not what we're going to do with it, just to be clear. But we want to look at how far can it reach. So we want to look at things like supporting students. We have lots of students with significant financial needs, so we want to support them. We had a very significant deferred maintenance when I first took over back in 2012, 2013. And now it's better, but we still have areas of the university we want to improve. So we may have to spend it on some facilities. We have residence halls that we're trying to build as we try to bring more people closer to the campus. So we may have to put a little bit into that. So we're going to look at every opportunity we can to maximize its reach and its use, so that as many people can benefit. And we also wanted to have a benefit for as long as possible, right? So creating some endowments from which we spend is another way to do that as well, so that it can gain interest and we can spend off of that interest as well. So there's several things that we're going to do and look at. As a matter of fact, this week is our board meeting, and this will be, of course, a heavy topic of discussion.
Mm-hmm. When based on the information that has been shared by the university, when we're talking about $17 million for the College of Medicine, let's just talk about that alone. What would that $17 million mean, short term and long term, for the College of Medicine?
Yeah, one of the things I'm trying to get us to do is to really focus on the College of Medicine as part of an academic medical center that includes a College of Nursing, a pharmacy school, dentistry, nursing and allied health, I should say, and also a hospital. And so when we look at it in that context, it can help us with interprofessional education. It can help support students as well. Remember, we're getting into an environment now where the government, the federal government, has decided, at least through the federal student aid program, that they will now cap loans per year. And that cap per year is about $60,000 for professional students. So if you're in medical school, where that alone might be the cost of tuition, so imagine housing, food, etc., those students are going to have to start looking for other sources in order to fund their education. And I'm not sure where those other sources are going to come from. So again, very lots of opportunity to support there. I have to say as well that we've been fortunate as one of the 4 historically Black medical schools to have received a Bloomberg gift that also has come in advance of this to support students and to try to lower their debt in an attempt to create generational wealth. So all of this, fits in very nicely.
When you look at it on its face, $80 million is a lot of money. But when you're looking at a college or university, and specifically Howard University, some could argue it's not that much. I mean, it's more than what you had the day before, obviously. But how do you determine how best to spend that money and still remain a good steward over that 80 million?
Yeah, it's a good point. 80 million is about a tenth of our revenue per year, to put it in perspective. So 10% of our revenues in a year is what 80 million represents. Another way to look at it is it's about 8 to 10% of our current endowment, right? In terms of that 80 million. I'm sorry. It's 1/8 of that, of that 10%. The point being that what we have to do in terms of deciding how to spend it is to make a very, very tough decision about what our priorities are and what is the best bang for the buck. I can list 50 things we could spend it on today, but I also want to make sure that those things are impactful and that there are things that we do not have another opportunity somewhere else to raise money to go pay for those things, right? And so it's about looking at our priorities, is looking at our current opportunities to bring in other funds, and then making a decision based on that. And so with that in mind, there are several opportunities that we have. And having done this, having received, 40 million before, I do have a clear sense of, what that money could have done, has done, and therefore that will also inform us in terms of what we'll do this go on as well.
Overall speaking, how might this money change the university in a way that the university community may see, or even the broader community?
Yeah, what's interesting is sometimes gifts like this, people don't see that impact, but they benefit from it. And I'll give you an example. We are right now currently in a government federal dollars. If the shutdown doesn't end anytime soon, people will still get paid, but they may never realize that they continue to get paid because we were able to use some of the funds for emergency funding of our payroll, just as an example, right? But if we had to do furloughs or not pay people, people would have felt that pain from the government shutdown, even if it were temporary. So my point is that we got the different things we may use it for. Not everyone may see or feel it. the students who we give dollars to, we're not going to be able to support, all 13,000 of the students. But the highest need students, some of them will get immediate support. And that relief everybody won't feel, but people will be in a class where they'll still see their classmates to the left and the right, who didn't leave because they got support, right? So my point is, both directly and indirectly, people will be impacted, and they may not always see every single thing that happens. Oftentimes I say to students, you're here for 4 years. By the time you come back and a building is built, you would never realize that during the time you were here, things were being done to bring that building to fruition. Today, I met with the student leaders of WHUR, the president and vice president, and I met with them to solicit from them what they would like to see some of the money used for. I asked them to set up a survey with the student body and to solicit some areas. I gave them some ideas of about 5 or 6 buckets. I told them they could add another 4 or 5, and they should come back to me and see. And even in that short discussion, it was great, right? One of them suggested we expand a chapel. That's a $20 million project. The other one said, "Oh my gosh, you'd probably get people going crazy if you took $20 million just for the chapel." And I chuckled and I said, "You see, right here in 5 minutes, we already are, taking out our knives and slicing up the cake in the way we see fit," right?
I did want to ask you. This is the first time that you and I have had a chance to talk on this program since your return to Howard University. Have your plans or priorities changed since coming back? And I know you hold the title of interim until any decisions have been made on the future of leadership for the university. But while you're here, have your priorities or thoughts changed?
Yeah. So first things first, just to clarify, the only title I will hold is interim. Just to be clear, that's the only thing that I'm going to do is just going to be, for a short time. My priority coming back was to make sure that, things were in order, stabilize things, keep the trajectory going, and to ready the university for whoever number 19 will be. Whoever she will be, was my goal is to get the place ready for that young lady or that lady to step into the position. So my priority still is to make sure the university is being run well. We're executing on the priorities well. We're making sure that the student experience is the best it can be. We're making sure that our faculty can do the work that we've hired them to do, which includes teaching and research and service, and to make sure that the employees, who are the connective tissue of the place, can conduct their day-to-day fairly seamlessly. And so nothing has changed about that. I think with respect to the gift, it certainly does make budgeting and finances a little easier, but it doesn't change the energy and the drive that I still need to put into what I need to accomplish.
You said young lady or lady. Are you making news on this program? Is it something you want to share?
I'm not making news, but I think even when I was the 17th president, I think I was always consistent in suggesting that I would love to see my successor be a woman. We've had 18 men sit in this position. We have a student body now, undergrad, where some 70-something percent are women. We had one woman dean when I started. We now have, 10 or 9 or 10 of the 14 are women. I think it's about time.
Well, Dr. Frederick, I think that's a good point on which to end this conversation. Again, it is good to see you. It's been, as they say, it's been a minute, but it is certainly good to see you, and certainly congratulations to you and the Howard University family for receiving this generous $80 million donation from Mackenzie Scott. certainly it'll give the university some breathing room. So we'll see how things move forward. Dr. Frederick, always good to see you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, certainly. And thanks for having me. It's always good to be a show.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. That is the Daily Drum. And don't forget, you can hear
All
this
right.
and every edition of the Daily Drum Insight segment via podcast on WHUR.com. The original Quiet Storm with Raheem Devon is next on WHUR-FM. I'm Harold Fisher. Good night.